Welcome to Rock Solid Productions, where in this video we are going to show you how to mod your Super Nintendo Junior so that you can actually play both Super Famicom and Super NES games and you don't have to destroy original equipment. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, Gary here with Rock Solid Productions. Now, if this is your first time to the channel, I just want to take a second and say thanks for stopping by and checking out what we have here today. I really do appreciate it. If you like what you see here, if you're looking for other mods and tips and tricks for the Super NES Junior, we have a number of different videos on here, including this one here has actually been modded with one of Voltar's RGB mod kits, and then it connects to my TV here through HD Retrovision cables. Super cool way to do it. Check out that video here on the channel. I will have it linked for you right up there. So recently I was perusing through the Casamania.com website as I almost dropped my Super Nintendo Junior, and I was looking for some cool stuff. Tax return season, what can I say? And I happened to find these guys here. What this is this is a printed insert that goes into your Super NES Junior that allows you to play the more curved games like what the Super Famicom and the European Super NES both played. So what we're going to do, we're going to hit the bench, we're going to check and see what it takes to get this installed into our system, and we're going to just check the fitment. Let's go. So before we get started, let's talk about the what, the why, and the how. So the what do we need to do here, and it's also the why. So normal North American Super NES cartridges look like this. We're all familiar with this kind of square sort of shape. Now in Europe and Japan, theirs had a more round shape to it, as you can see here. This is my Japanese version of Super Metroid and my European version from AB Games in Germany of Earthworm Jim. Now when I try to put these games into the system, they don't go. That is what Nintendo basically used as region lock, was the shape of the cartridge. By doing this, we'll be able to play NTSC-J and PAL games actually on this system, theoretically. Let's look at what we have here to begin with, because this is a pretty neat setup, I gotta say. And it's relatively inexpensive. So here is the conversion itself, and basically this insert will go in the top of our system right here, and as you see the spring-loaded doors, it's not replicated here, or does it go in? Oh, that's what it does, is it will still cover that up, so it kind of gives you that extra little look here. So I guess this will actually sit flush on the system. It is a two-piece sort of setup on here. Now there are a number of different colors available. I went with the purple just so that it would match what the system was, but they had gold, they had red, they had a lot of different colors out there. Now to perform this, we're going to need a couple tools. We've got our game bits and everything here. We have some Tamiya Phillips Screwdrivers, and then I have my Hitachi drill driver here. So what we're going to do, I'm going to just set my screwdrivers towards the back. These are a bit shorter. I actually prefer these guys here simply because they have the lock essentially where it'll key into my Hitachi. And for the bottom side, I believe it uses the larger of the two, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4 on the bottom. If you notice, when I get it all kind of keyed into the security bit, because it's not a standard Phillips bit, I give it just a little bit of a twist. That way I'm making sure that I'm not breaking the posts on the inside of the system. Also make sure that I've got a good grip of the security bit in the bit on my drill driver here too. Okay, so at this point I should be able, yep, I'm going to just set this whole thing aside just like this. Now on the underside I have 1, 2, 3 Phillips head screws. I'm just going to use my Tamiya screwdriver, and if you're not familiar with Tamiya, they make some of the finest plastic models in RC cars and trucks in the world. I've been a huge fan of Tamiya for over 20 years. Their static models are gorgeous, and their RC cars are just a blast. Now when I am done here, I will actually thread these screws back into place because I don't want to lose them. Now, as I am sliding this apart, I notice that there's a spring retainer right here and one right there. So as you pull this apart, kind of be aware that the springs will lose tension. So let's slide that out. And there, our tray is out. And now here, we will slide those guys out of the way. Now, how is that retained in place? Or does that simply slide in? So it looks like that just slides into place now, and there's nothing to retain it from the bottom. So when you are done, you slide that out, and that now is your dust cover to go into place. I would have liked it if it was actually retained underneath a little bit more. So the reason why this insert is even necessary whatsoever. So looking at the stock tray, you've got a hump there and a hump there and two tabs towards the bottom. That's what basically the North American cartridge will key into. So it'd go like, yep, like that. And those tabs that we saw key into the cartridge right there and right there. So that basically goes in, and then the front ones basically keep the cartridge from moving around a whole lot, and basically goes on either side of this bit here. So now what we're going to do, like I mentioned, is we're just going to screw these back in, and I'm not going to screw them in too far. And with any time that you're screwing into plastic, you know, something that's already been threaded into, I've mentioned this before, unscrew about a quarter turn and then start screwing. It'll make sure that you're not cutting new threads. Now, I know other people have just cut out those tabs in their Super NES or in the flip side on the Super Famicom to accommodate, you know, international games. I don't want to do that. All right, so those are basically held in place now. And really, I don't even need to have this in here to finish this reassembly. One thing you do want to do is make sure that the power switch is in the off position when you get ready to reassemble it, because that will have to key back in to the physical switch on your system itself. So now that we have that piece removed, get everything realigned here, we'll drop those back in, and one by one we will tighten them back down. Now, very similar, I will grab my bit here, unscrew a bit, get it set. Same thing on this one. And then our final screw. And that is a 4.5 millimeter security bit. I'm going to loosen up the clutch on here to about 5. We're going to do a star pattern, so we're going to go bam, 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 bam. Okay, so those are tightened down sufficiently. So basically that goes in like that. And now I can take my Japanese copy of Super Metroid and slide it in. Wow, that's a bit of a tight fit on there. Oh, yeah, they need to open that up a little bit. That's a bit of too tight of a fit for my taste. And then when you're not playing at all, you can simply insert the insert, and then you have that. Yeah, they need to open this up a little bit more. That's way too tight of a fit. Also, the other thing is this will not allow you to play both on this system like I thought it would. So to play your American games, you have it like that, no big deal. But then to play the imports, you could still do the exact same thing. So to me, that part, not really that good of a design. Yeah, I don't know that I'd recommend this. Because if you're going to do this, I mean, that makes sense to me. But having this set up here where it's too tight, oh, no, I don't know that I would recommend this. Let's wrap it up. So what do I think of this conversion? Well, so first and foremost, this is designed by Cosmic Katamari. It's a neat idea. I like the concept of this a lot. What I don't like is the execution of it. The fact that it doesn't go inside and is held in the system at all. It's a very, holy cow, very tight fit. As you can see, it pulled the insert out of the system. I don't think that the molds, you know, this is actually 3D printed, not a mold. I don't think this is sized properly myself. I also would like to see a variant of this that would actually allow, like I was thinking and hoping, that I could play either my Super NES or my Super Famicom cartridges on the system. As it is, for me right now, the biggest value is the dust cover that I can put in here and simply leave the cartridge insert out altogether. There's no need for it whatsoever. It doesn't do anything that just putting the cartridge in would do for you. So this is a neat idea. I like this. I wish that it had some sort of a dust sleeve or maintained the sleeve that the Famicom, the Super Famicom or the Super NES itself used. But I don't think that this was quite ready for prime time, at least this part here. Now, this again is 3D printed. It may be just an issue with this print where if you open it up a little bit, it would be able to go in with less resistance. But the fact that my copy of Metroid was, you know, it's super hard to go into this piece, and it actually did pull the insert out of the system. I commend the guy for trying something. I like the fact it's available in different colors. I do kind of hope, and I will be reaching out to him as well to provide my feedback on here. Is this something you would try or not? Is it worth, it's under $20, so it's not too expensive, and it does add a flash of color. But for me, quite honestly, since I have a Super Famicom, even though this actually, I would rather leave this just hooked up, I'll probably just still end up using my Super Famicom for this. We'll check it out again. We'll see if we can't take an X-Acto knife and open this up a little bit to make it better. And again, if there would be some way to secure this with the 3 bosses underneath versus having it inserted in the top and then having the cartridge slot protector have this shape, the shape of a Super Famicom or a Super NES cartridge. That way you can leave this in the system all the time. I don't want to be adding and removing this stuff each time I go to play. It becomes more of a hassle than a benefit. But these are just my opinions. Let me know what you think down below in the comments section. If you do have any other comments or questions, as always, you can feel free to email me at rocksolidmail@gmail.com. You can hit me up over on Twitter at RockSolidStudios, Facebook at facebook.com/RockSolidProductions, and Instagram at instagram.com/RockSolidProductionsGK. Now, if you do want to pick one of these up for yourself, I will have a link to Katamari Games in the pinned post where you can pick these guys up. And again, he has a number of different color options for you there too. Now, if you do want to go ahead and check this out on Katamari Games, he's got a great promo going on over there called Castle Cash. It's actually not a promo, it's his rewards program where every time that you go to the store and buy something, you actually earn points towards a future purchase. The more you spend, the more you earn in Castle Cash. You can also use promo code ROCKSOLID10 to save 10% off of most items on the website. And I don't think I mentioned it at the beginning of this video, but if you like what you see here, if you want to see more, do me a huge favor. Hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, and that bell notification. That way each and every time we do upload new content, you're kept the most informed and up to date. And if you want to help support the future of Rock Solid Productions, you can do so in a couple of different ways. Head on over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/rocksolid. For as little as $1 a month, $12 a year, you get early access to all of our content, exclusive content, and a whole lot more. You can also join us over on our Teespring store. Well, you don't really join us, but you can head on over to our Teespring store where we have t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, and more, all featuring the Rock Solid Productions logo on a variety of different retro-style cartridges. Again, neat idea. I think the execution needs to be refined a little bit. I hope that they do go ahead and they take this feedback seriously, because this is something I would love to have, love to see. Just would like to have it executed a little bit better. My name is Gary, this has been Rock Solid Productions, and our look at the conversion to allow you to play Super Famicom and European PAL Super NES games on your US Super NES Junior. I thank you for watching. I hope to see you soon.